I mean, I worked 2 full-time jobs. I kept the home, I kept everything. I was like, "I'm going to figure this out." And my son, when we get to do things and stuff like that and go on vacations or go on trips or whatever, I'm like, "Do you know why we get to do these things?" And he will look you dead ass and be like, "Because my mommy works really hard."
Mhm.
And I just wanna show him, and I'm like, life will knock you down. Like, there's no promise that you're just gonna coast through life. Like, that's not how life works. And even if he has the happiest marriage someday, and I pray over that every single day as a mom, it life is going to knock him down, and our kids have to learn how to pick themselves up and move forward. Like, they've got to carry on. And I'm just a big you know find outologist, like a figure outer. I'm like, well, and my mom was a single mom. I watched her work 2 jobs. I watched her figure it out. I never knew that when we struggled or when we things were hard. I just was like, we're going to figure it out. We're just going to keep going. And so that's probably my biggest thing through parenting, through divorce, and all of that is I just try to really reassure him that I made the best decision for both of us to have the best life,
Yes.
the happiest life, the healthiest life, and that going after your happiness isn't selfish.
Right.
It's not selfish to want to be even if it's your home by yourself, in a happy, healthy, peaceful household. That's not selfish,
Mm-mm.
you know?
No. And that's another thing that I'm sure you've come into contact with, that I've personally come into contact with other women who are married, who really shouldn't judge. I mean, we shouldn't judge each other's journeys, right?
No.
And nobody lives in our households. Nobody knew the ins and outs of either one of our marriages. And,
Right.
it's one of those things where I've come to a place of forgiving myself for
Mhm.
knowing better, but also giving myself grace for doing better this time around,
Right.
right? We are being given an opportunity now to choose partners who are going to provide us what we deserve and what we need. And so at the end of the day, when people say, well, are you dating and is it hard being single? No, it's not when you've gone through what we've gone through. It's
That's right.
actually a blessing to be single. And it's a like I always say, a rebirth to be
Yeah.
able to make things right and make sure that when it comes to whatever partner we bring into our life will also affect your son and will
Mhm.
affect my daughter.
Right.
And so, why would we rush that? We rushed it once before. We didn't read
That's
the
right.
red flags once before. And where did that get us? So, why
Yeah.
would we be insane enough to go make that same mistake over again?
Right. And I don't know about you, but like my bullshitometer in dating, I'm like, half a red
Yes.
flag, I'm out. I'm like, ew, don't talk to me again. Like, I don't have to entertain you because I know that that's not what I want for my life. You know what I mean? I'm just like, one thing, and I'm like, I don't like that. And now I stand in that power. Like, I get to actually choose. I'm obsessed with Scandal. If you've not watched that show, it's just
I
so good. But
haven't watched Scandal.
oh, girl, put it on this
I'm guilty.
weekend.
I am guilty with like the love reality shows, like Love
Okay, same.
Island. Oh God, what are some of the other ones that I got addicted to? Love
Love is Blind.
Island,
I see it
Love is
through. Love is
Blind.
Blind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, The Ultimatum. Uh,
Yes, the ultimatum is so good.
it's so good. And then I
Yeah.
just like live vicariously through these younger people, this younger
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
yelling at the
Well, if
TV,
you want
don't
it
do
good,
it.
I know, but like Scandal is kind of that way. But one of the things she says is like speaking to me as a privilege. And
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, and that might sound bitchy or arrogant or like whatever, but I just value my peace so
Yes.
much more now
Yes.
than ever. And I used to be one of those people where like everybody had access to me all the time. I'm a people pleaser at heart. I'm a Pisces. I'm like very deep.
Oh,
I like,
you're
it's
a
like,
Pisces. I
oh,
love
it's
Pisces.
oh my God, I'm so emotional and I'm a people
Same.
pleaser and I want to make
Same.
everyone happy all the time. And like,
Yeah.
so that was also really hard for me in divorce because I felt like such a failure and that people were going to judge me and that I let people down. I let my parents down. I'm going to leave my son down. All of these things, like, and that can be like debilitating for someone like me. Um, so really rounding out like who I am and what I will or won't put up with has absolutely been a journey. And honestly, if I'm just dead, like still something that I work on. Like I have to exercise that muscle often
Yes.
because I feel like oh my gosh, well, if that person DM'd me or they texted me or I have to respond back and I have to be nice and I have to, so it's actually like opposite for me. I have to really try hard to like keep my boundaries and standards up because that's not something naturally that like comes to me, and so divorce was really, really hard for in that, I struggled with it a long time.
Mhm. Same.
Yeah.
I call
Yeah.
myself a recovering people pleaser,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And that's one of the lessons that you and I have been able to learn, but we've been strong enough to change that.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
beautiful thing about life is you go through hard
Mhm.
times, but it's giving you the ability to make things right. It's giving you the ability to dig deep into your soul and figure out who Tanika is and figure out who Lauren is and,
Yeah.
show the true, authentic Tanika and Lauren to our children. I mean, how
Yeah.
beautiful is that? That they don't
Yeah.
see some watered down version of who we are as individuals. They get the
Right.
real, raw us,
Yes.
you
And I get
know?
to be silly and laugh and be funny and, stuff like that that I wasn't, if I was trying to be silly or what, I was walking on eggshells so much
Same.
in my marriage.
Yes.
I was very quiet and
Mm.
like waiting for them to be the thermometer of the house. If they were having a bad day, then I was quiet and meek and, just kind of went on and was seen and not, like in the background kind of, and now I'm like bold and loud and silly and funny. And I really do think I've figured out who I actually am as a human through being divorced. And I don't, that sounds crazy, but it's like I've given myself full permission to be a dork or to like something, that's maybe a little bit off this, I found out I like hiking or I found out that I actually like certain things that I never did when we were together and married. It was just like, well, I have to like what he likes, or, I sit here because we don't do anything, or
Right.
whatever, I was just going around small. I was living a very small, quiet life.
Mm.
And I think once you're separated from that, it's like, and I don't know if you went through that too, but you're like, what do I even like? Like, who am I without someone telling me what to like or someone telling me what I can or can't be?
I'll never forget, and it's a story I've never shared, but you definitely tapped into that side of me. That Starbucks was overpriced. So
Yeah.
I remember being that it was like my vice during the divorce. I now know every single barista at Starbucks. They know
Yep.
my face, they know my name. I go every
Yeah.
day for my favorite coffee drink, and I don't have to hear that's a waste of money or,
Yeah.
you know, it's like that. It's you gain things back in your life, even down to your coffee drink,
Yeah.
that are just small wins,
Yes.
you know? And
Yes.
when you get those small wins, they start adding up to really big wins. And then as you start getting all the big wins together, you start really tapping back into who you are as a person. So I always tell every woman that's going through this, you have to give yourself a mourning period because divorce
Hmm.
challenges you in ways you'll never think possible.
Right.
Emotionally, mentally, financially, in every
Yep.
single way. You lose your identity when you're in an unhealthy marriage.
Yep.
So when you come out of it, you have to, it's like a puzzle, put all the pieces back together and figure out, oh my God, who am I?
100%.
And it's daunting. It's scary as hell. It's, you think that there's not going to be any light at the end of the tunnel.
I know.
And so when women like you and I come on and show these women, please just push through the hard times. There is light at the end.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
light, but you have to put in the work and you have to
Yeah.
put in the time and you have to want it.
Yes. Yes. And I remember there was a quote, and I can't remember it exactly, but when I was going through my divorce, because you just spoke it, and it clicked for me this memory. And it was, every night turns to dawn.
Mm,
Like that's just certain, you know? After every rainstorm, there's sun. And I know that that could sound so cliche, but it can't rain forever.
mhm,
It can't be dark forever, you
mhm,
know? And when I really started to retrain my brain on like focusing on the little wins of the day, I got dressed that day. I put makeup on that day. I went outside today. For you, I stopped at Starbucks today and didn't feel
Mhm.
a lick of damn guilt. I went to
Yep.
Target without someone bitching about it. I went on a trip and wasn't, I don't know, I'll speak on this. I went on a trip or dinner with my girlfriends and didn't have someone, when are you going to be home? When are you going to be home? When
Texting
are you
you.
going to, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm just like outliving my life and enjoying my friendships and enjoying traveling and enjoying being where I want to be without having to answer to someone who was out doing their own thing. So always thought that I was, that projecting is what we dealt with a lot. And I never understood it at the time. And then now I'm like, oh, well, it's because when you went out, that's what
Right.
but it's like I have found such a freedom, but I really focused on when I was going through it, that repeating thing, like it's not always going to be dark, you
Right.
know?
Yep. No, it's very
Yeah.
true. But when
Yeah.
you're in it, and I'm sure you remember your darkest times, when you're
Oh,
in
yeah.
it, because I remember mine like it was yesterday. I mean,
Yeah.
that trauma sticks in your nervous system, and I'm on this mission now with my health to
Yes.
try to get my body out of fight, flight, and freeze. And I mean,
Yep.
man, it's been 4 years, and my body still is triggered by the smallest
Yes.
things. And that just goes
Yeah.
to show you that even though you push through and mentally you think, oh, I made it through, I'm great, your body is going to show you otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, and that was a huge thing for me. I never put myself first or worked out or anything like that. And since my divorce, I've actually lost and kept off, or since our separation, we had a very long drawn out divorce. Our divorce took 5 years, 6 years, something like, I mean, it was absolutely insane. So, but in that, I've lost and kept off like 70 pounds. I've completely transformed my life.
Good
And
on you.
then that was used against me, that,
Of course.
he hated that, or he would be like, eat a cheeseburger, anything to keep me small,
Mm-hmm.
or I am smaller now, but like anything, like mentally small. And he wanted me to be bigger, he wanted me to be unhealthy, he wanted me to be in a dead end job, he wanted all of those things. And it's like anything to take away my power.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I really, like I said, I'll call my therapist later, but it's like just success out of spite has really fueled me. But I'm like, I want to, I talk to my son all the time. I'm like, we have these bodies, like, I want to take care of mine, and I spent so much time being so triggered all of the time. Like, if something would go wrong and my breathing hurts, my chest would hurt. I was waking up in the middle of the night with chest pains. I'm sure you've been there. Like, my chest, it was tight all the time. I couldn't even take a deep breath for a lot of the like years, I felt like, at a time. But I just felt like chipping away at, like, who do I really want to be? Like, and not even like as a mom, but like literally as a woman. I think all the time, like those quotes was like, the average lifespan is what, like 60 or 76 years or 78 years. And we're literally just on a floating rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, it's like not that what people think of you or what people are going to judge you, like, it's just, who gives a shit? It is your life. Who gives a shit? Go live it boldly, be loud, be abrasive, be unapologetic. Like, that's what I wish I could just shake women of, like, you let so many outside voices, maybe what your parents are going to think if you leave, or their parents, or your friends, or people on Facebook, for shit's sake. I mean, my God, who can, but it's like, this is it. Like, this is it, and it makes me so sad. I would have never had the life I have if I would have stayed. I never would have taken the career choice that I've taken ever. I never would have. He would have made me feel so stupid. He would have made me not ever do it. And because I did it, I've shown my son the world. I've traveled. I've spoken on stages in front of thousands. Like, I talked to amazing people like you. All of these opportunities, none of that would have existed if I stayed. And I 100% know that. Like, so I just feel like I would have missed out. Maybe I miss out on every other Saturday, but what I would have missed out on if I stayed would be far more soul crushing, I think, in the long run, if that makes sense. And as a mom, that's a very hard sentence
Mm-hmm.
um to stay, yeah, or to say out loud. But I really truly think at the end of the day, I made the best choice for both of our souls, if that if that
No,
makes sense.
100, 100%, 100%. Our children deserve to see us at our best.
Yeah,
And if we're not at our best in a marriage, then I'm damn well going to be at my best single.
that's
And
right.
And the way I'm raising my daughter is you don't have to apologize for who you are as an individual. Be
Nope.
bright, be bold, be loud, and the people that love you and care about you will support you and not try dimming your light. Not try
Yep.
getting you to, be quiet or try to take
Yep.
your power away from you or take your strength away from you.
Mhm.
And so I cannot agree with you more when you say that the life you're living now, you wouldn't have had if you had stayed, because this podcast, me tapping back into who I am as a woman, as a mom,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
a new single mom dating. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just been the experience has been so amazing and so life changing
Yeah.
that I have absolutely no regrets. And like you said, it is hard to say that as a parent because your
Hmm.
child is now a child of divorce. But instead of wallowing in the idea or the sound of that's a child of divorce, our children are going to be just fine because they
Yeah.
have us as moms to
That's
lead the
right.
way and show them things that they would have
Mhm.
learned in life somewhere or another down the line.
Correct.
Whether it was being
Right.
let go from a job that they wanted, or being brokenhearted by a relationship, or
Correct.
being disappointed in some way or another. The
Yeah.
world is not a forgiving place.
That's right. And and my son struggles with that. He's like, I wish you and dad were together. Of course, they always want what they don't,
Of course,
have. And
yes.
I just explained to him, and I'm like, I'm giving you the best life possible. Like, I promise you, and that is where, and I'm like, I stand 10 toes down on that.
Mhm.
And I said, and I told him the other day because we were having this deep discussion about it. And I said, and this is like life advice. And again, I'm a Pisces, I'm an Enneagram 3. So like this is a work in progress for me as well. And I said, if you focus on the one hard thing, if you focus on how unfair this one thing in your life is, because in his little world it is unfair,
Yes,
and I wouldn't have asked to bring a child into a world where they're splitting weekends and splitting Christmas Day and splitting all that. That's
same,
hard.
same.
That's very hard for them.
Mhm.
But I said, if you focus on the one hard thing, you miss all this beautiful abundance that God has given us. I said, you've traveled, you've gone and done all of these things. You have clothes, you have food every day, and I know that that's sometimes hard for a 9-year-old to grasp, right? And I'm asking him to kind of see this big picture world, right? And I get it, but I'm like, you have everything that you want because I work my ass off to give that to you.
Mhm.
You don't want for anything. And I say to him, like, if you want a red car, so then you focus on the red car. All you see out on the street are red cars.
Yes.
And I'm like, what you focus on grows and that manifests and that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so if you can focus on every day things that are so good and positive in your day, then that's all that you can see. You can see the good, and you can see the blessings. So now every morning we're naming 3 things that we're thankful for, 3 things that are good in our day. That's how we're going to start our day. I'm like, we're retraining our brains. And I think that as mothers, that's like our responsibility too. Like, there is going to be hard. Like you said, whether that's a job loss, you fail a test, you didn't make the soccer team that you tried out for, all of these things are going to be life lessons for them. But what we as mothers, especially mothers gone through divorce, get to show them is you pick yourself back up.
Yes.
You try out again, you study for the next test, you continue dating. I believe in love. I don't know that I believe in marriage again. Um,
Yep.
yeah, that's a topic for another day.
That's something that you and I
Um,
can talk about when we're not recording.
Yes, yes, yes. But I'm like, I still believe in loving someone. I believe in I want to be loved. I want to be, all of that. Like, losing a game doesn't keep you out of next season.
Right.
And I think that that is so important for our children to learn, is
Yes.
like they're not entitled to an easy good life. You do have to make choices every day to get back out there and to try again, and to keep, put good out into the world. Like,
Mhm.
I think that's super important with being thankful, is the more good you do for other people. I'm always like every day before he gets out of the car, I'm like, do something kind for someone else today.
Mhm.
Like with you in this podcast, like whatever hardships you've gone through, putting good back out into the world brings things back to you good full circle. You know what I mean? And I think that's super important too.
Yeah, and I don't know what your experience was like, but for me, I actually had a lot of judgment and I did not have a solid support system with friendships when people around me found out that I was filing and I was leaving. I had a lot of judgment around it, and women that I thought were friends ended up choosing sides.
Mm.
And so, one of the biggest things that I wanted to do when I was finally through my poor me phase, going through therapy, doing the EMDR, getting my
Mm.
mind right was I know I didn't go through this just for me and just for my
Yep.
daughter. I have this feeling inside of me, this calling that I went through this to pay it forward and help other women that are struggling. I want to be that friend that I didn't have. I want to be
Yeah.
that community or a
The
platform
big
where,
sister advice, like,
yes,
yeah,
because divorce is a sisterhood, man. I mean, it
yeah.
doesn't matter if yours was amicable and mine was high conflict. It's still divorce. It's still a
It
loss,
still sucks.
right? It still
Yeah.
sucks. It doesn't matter how you spin it. And
Yeah.
so the biggest thing for me is like, please, let's not compare. This is not like a competition of whose divorce
Correct.
was worse than the others. We all
Right.
experienced heartache. We all
Yeah.
experience loss. We all have to experience, if we have children in the mix, what you
Hmm.
said a Christmas is like without having our child, or
Yeah.
having to make a normal everyday day a birthday party because you don't have them on
Yes.
their actual birthday.
Right.
But you find ways of doing it and being creative, and you have to be
Yeah.
mindful that, like, this is also your child's journey.
Yeah.
This is their
And it's
journey,
their childhood. Yeah.
you
Like,
know?
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I loved connecting with you today, and I'm so
I know.
grateful that you were willing to come on and be transparent and be real and not give two fucks or two shits, because
No,
that's how I am.
I
And
know. I'm
I,
like unapologetically honest, probably, or like, I'm like, well,
well,
anyways.
same, same. And for me, in the beginning of this, everyone's like, you're gonna have haters and you're gonna have namesayers, and I'm like, even if I did everything the way they wanted me to, I still would. I
No,
still
right.
would.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm so lucky. I think my friends were like, thank God,
Yeah.
like they were more so like, Jesus, how long did that fucking take you? Like, how much are you going to go back for? Like, please God. So I really do. I had the best friends ever. And they are still like, do we need to throw you like a divorce party? Are we going? They're like, thank God. Like, they're the friends that came over in the middle of the night to help me change the garage code, to help me take my pictures down off the wall. I mean, they're truly like I have some of the best friends, and that if my advice to anybody going through it, even if it's just one person you can find, we all have to have that
You do.
community, someone. Yeah.
You need to have your Avengers. You need to have
Yes.
your team behind you that has your back, that doesn't question your truth and doesn't question your reality.
Right.
I had to get
Right.
rid of a lot of those.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And I had some people, but and then now they're like, I never knew you were going through all of that,
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Same.
well, anyone can smile on social media.
Uh-huh.
You have your matching Christmas pajamas on your Christmas card, and, everybody's just like, oh my God, cutest family ever, as you like are dying inside. And I think
Totally.
so many women live that life. They're dying inside,
Mhm.
waiting for their kids to hit, 20 or whatever. And they're just sitting there. And it's like, this is your life,
Yes.
like this is it.
Yes. Well, to have a little bit of fun before I let you go,
Yes.
I have sip and spill episodes where we do rapid fire questions.
Yes.
And I figured, since it's a new year and you're my first guest on the podcast in the new year, why not I ask Toneeka some fire rapid questions so that the audience
Let's
gets to know
go.
you and I a little bit better?
Let's go.
Are
I'm
you ready?
excited.
Okay,
Yes.
here we go. One word to describe post-divorce Toneeka.
Unapologetic.
Boom. Love
Mhm.
that.
Yep.
I was gonna say that, but I'm gonna say resilient.
I love that. I love that word so
I
much.
think it's very much it's not appreciated enough. It's underestimated too
100%.
often.
Yep. Yep.
So okay, I like this.
I
A
love it.
song that carried you through that time, because we all know what music can do for us.
I know so many. It depends on the day, right? Whether it was like rage,
Yep,
like break stuff by Limp Bizkit. I'm a millennial baby.
I
Or
love
if it
it.
was like Fighter, Christina, just
Yep.
like, yeah, like yeah, something like that, to like that I would want to go to like a rage room in, kind of thing like that, probably
Breaks.
break some. Yes.
Okay, so mine is very opposite. Mine was like very ugly cry music.
I love a good ugly cry though.
Okay, so the best ugly cry song, and please listen to it, and then you're gonna have to get
Okay,
back to me and let me know what you think,
I'm going to.
is by Adele,
Oh,
and it's called To Be Loved.
okay, I'll put it on in the car when I
Please
go
do.
get my son from school. Yeah.
A girlfriend of mine sent this to me and said, the minute I heard this song, I thought about you. Because it's,
Well, and then you're like, I'm already crying now before I've even played the song.
yeah, it's one of those,
Yeah.
but like it
Yeah.
has stuck with me. And it was the very first song I was introduced to at the very beginning point of my divorce. And I
Mhm.
literally ugly cried through that song so many times.
Yeah.
So yeah, mine would
I
be
loved
Adele.
also for crying, Better Man by Little Big Town. It's like I wish you could have been a better man.
Yes.
You know, I wanted to stay married. I wanted to see it through, but it's like, why couldn't you have been a better man?
Mhm.
And so yeah, I remember crying to that one just because I felt like that song really, I don't know, saw me. I was like, I just wanted you to be better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. And then my like blare it in the car, rock out with my girlfriend song is Just Fine by Mary J. Blige.
Oh, I love her.
She's
Yes.
a badass.
She is such a badass.
Talk about a woman that's like been through hell and
Been
back
through
and like,
everything.
oh my gosh,
I know.
she's a powerhouse
Yes.
of a woman.
Yes.
And then this new song that I've been listening to a little bit when I start not giving people think I'm a bitch
I love
is
that.
by Maren Morris, and it's called Be a Bitch.
I'm obsessed with that
Is
song.
it
It's
not
so
the
good.
best?
Oh,
Oh my
yes.
God.
I'm
It's so
obsessed with
good.
that song.
It's
It's
so
so
good.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I will stand 10 toes down on that one with you.
Yep.
That one is so good. Yes.
Yes.
She's been through
So
some too, so I like it.
she's been through some shit. Carly Pierce has been through some shit. Casey Musgraves
Yes.
has been through some shit. Kelsey
Yep.
Ballerini. I mean, like,
Every woman going through a divorce, just download Rolling Up the Welcome Mat. Just download it
yes.
immediately and then
Yes.
from beginning to end, and then loop it through again. Like that will heal you. You don't even need to call your therapist. I
It's true.
mean, I just remember, and I remember like when she says, I kissed someone new last night. And like when I first kissed someone after being divorced, I was like,
You thought
it's
about
so
it.
weird.
Yeah. It is
Yes,
weird. It
it
is
is weird.
weird. It feels so and like the biggest thing I could tell women that are throwing themselves back into the dating world after divorce is like
Yeah.
give yourself so much grace with it because
Yes.
you go from being so domesticated and not like forgetting what a real passionate kiss feels like.
Yes.
It's this like those
Yes.
small little, nuances that you forget,
Yes. Yes.
you
And being
know?
passionate because you want to, not because you feel like you have to.
Yes.
Like that could be a whole podcast episode in and of itself, like stepping back into your sexual power and feeling
Yes.
sexy again and like, oh my God, I remember when I finally started to look at myself again and be like, okay,
Yeah.
like, okay, that's a whole movement.
It is. It is, and
Yes.
especially like after having children too, because our bodies
Yes.
change.
Yes.
It definitely messes with our head insecurity wise
Okay.
about like sex and
Yes.
what is that going to feel like and what is he going to think of it and all the
Yep.
things, that like women have to think about and worry about, and men go through a
No,
divorce.
they're just happy to be there.
They're just happy to shove it in something. They don't have
That's
to think
right.
about all those little things
No.
about body image and,
Yep. They don't have to,
it's
they don't
just
know what that's like. 100%.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I adore you. Thank you
So
so
much
much
fun.
for coming on the podcast. I
Thank
cannot
you for
wait for
having me.
people to hear this episode. I think there's going to
Me
be
too.
so many women, whether it's the beginning stage of their divorce or post divorce, that are really going to connect with our stories today.
Yes, I'm so thankful you asked me to be on. The internet's such a fun place. So thank
It
you
is.
for all that you do. This is amazing. And I was just glad to be a part of it for today.
Great. Well, thank you. And yeah, I might have to bring you back for some more sip and spill episodes.
Oh my God. Call me, girl.
Okay.
My free time is yours.
Okay. I love it.
All
Mwah.
right, girl.
Happy New
Mwah.
Year.
Yes,
New beginnings for both of us.
that's right. It's gonna be a
And
beautiful 2026.
Knox is a lucky boy.
Thank you so much. That
Got
means
a
a
great
lot.
mama.
Thank you so much. And you're just such a light. So thank you for spreading it.